Hello everyone and welcome to another extraordinary learning experience with Saoirse, who is extraordinary. Today we're going to be learning about the multiplication and division properties of equality. So that is on page 78 in your books, lesson 2.5. Right, let's get started. Alright, today's key ideas. The multiplication property of equality. Multiplying each side of an equation by the same number produces an equivalent equation. So you learned that an equivalent equation is one that equals each other. So let's use the numbers we used last time. So if A is 5 and A equals B, then that means B would be 5. So then A, which is 5, times C, which is 4, equals B, which is 5, times C, which is 4. 20 equals 20? Yep, so they are equivalent equations. So the division property says dividing each side of an equation by the same produces an equivalent equation. Okay? So if A is 5, B is 5, 5, let's change our numbers because those would be kind of hard. Okay, let's do 4. So A is 4, B is 4, C is 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So they are equivalent equations. Okay, this is an equation involving multiplication or division, okay? So looking at it, it looks a little bit kind of confusing because before we were learning that the x was on the side and now it's above it. Well, what we know here is when it's in a fraction form like this, it is in a division type form, okay? So basically it's dividing. So we learned that we have to do the opposite of whatever was being done originally. So since this is dividing, what's the opposite of dividing? Multiplying, that's right. So we look at our number because we want to get this variable by itself. So we look at our number, okay? And we see it's 3. So since it was dividing by 3, now we're going to multiply by 3, okay? But once we do it to one side, we have to do it to the other side. So now we multiply this side by 3, okay? So now x is by itself, and we just put what we got on the other side, which is negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, okay? So let's go back and check. So we put 18 back on top. So if we have 18 divided by 3, negative 18, excuse me, divided by 3 equals negative 6. Yep, that's right, so this checks. Let's try one on your own, so when you get your answer, unpause the video. Okay, so looking at it, we know right away this is in division form, so we have to do the opposite of whatever is being done. So that means we'll be multiplying. Okay, so we want to get our variable alone, so we look at our number. It's 8. So since we're dividing by 8, we're going to multiply now. Let's multiply by 8, multiply by 8 on the other side, because whatever you do to the left side, you got to do the right. Okay, so now we have C by itself, and negative 7 times 8 is negative 56. Okay, so we go back and check. Negative 56 over 8 equals negative 7. Yep, that's right. Checks. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at this. This is kind of a new one as well. So we're going to look at what we're doing here. We remember before, when we did equations, we had addition and subtraction, and we've done multiplication. So the only thing left is division. So when you see two things really close together in math, that means that they're being multiplied. So technically, there is a little multiplication sign right there. But you can just put them together, and you'll be multiplying. So if this is in multiplication form, what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So now we're going to take our number, and we're going to divide by that number, which is negative 4, okay? And then on this side, we're going to divide by negative 4, okay? And now we'll get y equals, because we got y by itself, negative 4.5, okay? So now let's put it back together. So negative 4 times negative 4.5. Okay, and we've learned before that a negative times a negative is always a positive. So then that means that our number is positive 18. Does it check out? Yep, we got the right answer. So let's try this one on your own. And when you're ready, unpause the video to get the answer. So this is another multiplication because we know they're really close together, so it's multiplication. So we got to do the opposite, which means that we'll divide by 5, okay? So P stands alone, haha. And now we get, since we had two negatives, we're going to get a positive 6.4. Okay, so now put it back. Negative 5 times 6.4 equals negative 32. Is that right? Because right here, they're different symbols, so they're going to get a negative answer. Okay, and did we get our negative answer? Yeah. So then this checks out. Alright, so now we're going to learn about solving an equation using a reciprocal. And we learned about reciprocals in a previous lesson, which is basically just the whatever number turned upside down. So we learned in division that you had to turn it to its reciprocal to get the right answer. So we're going to learn how to solve this problem using the reciprocal. Okay, so we look at our number because we want to get the variable itself. So our number is negative 4 over 5, okay? And we know that's division, so we have to do multiplication, okay? So since this is division, we're going to multiply by negative 4 over 5. But since this is a fraction, we're going to multiply it by its reciprocal, okay? So now it becomes negative 5 over 4, okay? And then we multiply this side by negative 5 over 4, okay? So now the x is down by itself now. Negative 8 times negative 5 over 4 is 10. See if it checks out. Negative 4 over 5 times 10 equals negative 8. Does it check out? Yep, it does. Alright, we got the right answer. So let's go ahead and try one on your own. So when you're ready, unpause the video and you'll get your answer. Okay, so we look at our number, which is negative 5 over 9, and we know that this is division, so we have to do the opposite, which would be multiplication. So we learned about reciprocal, so we multiply by the reciprocal, which would be negative 9 over 5. Then you have to do it on this side, negative 9 over 5. So now m equals negative 45, because 25 times negative 9 over 5 is negative 45. So let's go ahead and check. Negative 5 over 9 times 45, negative 45, sorry, equals 25, because these are the same sign, and we learned that same sign equals positive numbers in multiplication and division. So that's why we have positive 25. Alright, well this checks out. Alright, well I hope this video was helpful in helping you do what you need to do in math. This has been another extraordinary learning experience with Saoirse, who's extraordinary. You guys are all extraordinary for tuning in, and I hope this helps. So guys, you guys have a great day.